Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin van Lukener certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.
I'm your worst nightmare.
Got no audio in my... Turn me up.
I'm your worst nightmare.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really nice. We had a really good day. The start in the second race was not that good. Then we came closer to Prunier, and then there was a big stone on the kill switch, so we had to come from again more fast. So yeah, we did feel really good on the bike, and I think you can also see that. And yeah, we can go to the second place in the second heat. So yeah, that was really amazing.
Well, that's Koen Hermans, the man who dominated yesterday. The Prunier boys were quick, but Hermans on top of the pile. Those 52 points updated now, 5 for qualifying. He's now on 57. We are at Swindon, Foxhill, the motocross track just outside this beautiful town in Wiltshire in the UK. So welcome on FIMMotoTV.com. My name's Barry Nutley, and we've got 2 brilliant Grand Prix races to come up. If you've been with us so far today, you've already witnessed a fantastic EMX quad opener. Well, it can only get better. Your day, if you're with us, will be just the most fantastic way to watch motocross.
Hello guys, we are here for the second GP of the year in the British Foxhill. Joe, you're the British guy. What do you think about this track?
Yeah, it's really good. For sure it's going to be rock hard and probably like blue groove, especially with the quads being here. But with the big jumps, it's going to be really spectacular. I think the crowd see much of it from the top of the hill. So yeah, it's going to be really good.
And do we going to see some British sidecars on the podium? Maybe you?
That's the dream, yeah. So we'll see. We'll try our best, try and get a good start, and yeah, see if we can hold on.
Well, you can hear from the wind on the microphones, it's breezy out there. But what a track! Look at the scenery, and the sun is shining here on race day as well. That was Kurt Van Vermen talking to Joe Millard. Great racing coming up. The prospect is utterly mouth-watering, I can tell you. Well, the drone shot showing you everything you need to know as the crews collect in the starting box, and this is how they line up after qualifying. Koen Hermans, Kilian Prunier, they are the teams to watch. They are so quick. Marvin van Lukener was outgunned yesterday. He got a good start in the qualifying race. Brett Wilkinson is their 4th fastest. The left rink boys are strong. Davy Sanders got the whole shot in a qualifying race. What a brilliant day for him it's going to be. Stefan Wires, Justin Kerben, Tom van der Lagermaat, and Benny Weiss, winner in Kramelin, still well up in the table. He is sitting in 4th place in the points. Watch for that Frenchman, 936, the 12th fastest qualifier, Gwendal Carcref. He and Matty Soupon are quick out of the gate. Stuart Brown was good. The Lille Bardis boys are there by virtue of a 5-place noise penalty and a not very satisfactory qualifying. So they are 15th pick of the gate. That's going to be a challenge. Mike Hodges is there, Chanteloup brothers, Jake Brown, Lars Delat, and in 20th place, George and Jim Kinge the brothers on the 24 plates. 30 outfits go. Jensen the Dane, the Wyman brothers there, Liam Moody, Patrick Hengster, Selina Yarn, Jack Rogers, Ryan Beavis. Further down the order, the British boys. Sadly, I've got some bad news. Tim Prumer, who came here in 5th place in the championship, will not ride because his young passenger broke his foot in a collision. Jarno Stegmans now nursing a broken foot. He will not compete, so 30 outfits go. They do a sighting lap, as you well know. They are looking now at the start-finish area and getting into the collecting box. A good crowd here. It's breezy, but the sun is shining. There was some rain this morning, which has worked wonders to keep the dust down. And I'm looking forward immensely to what is going to be a stunning race. People are already saying that this GP here at Foxhill Circuit is going to be outstanding. The track has received unanimous acclaim from all of the crews. You can see the suspension there is compressed. That is because they load the front suspension, put a little peg in behind the front loop so that the front is compressed, getting more pressure onto the back wheel. The bike sits down, it's not going to wheelie, it'll hop over the gate. The first time it hits a bump, the little peg is released and the suspension is business as usual. This short straight is something, well, something to be feared, I think, because at the end of it is a 180-degree right turn, and that's going to spell trouble. Benny Weiss, number 91, got caught up there yesterday in his qualifying race. We're moving across now to where the guys have drawn the short straw, and you can see the shortest distance up to that sharp turn is on the right-hand side as you look at it, left-hand side as we face the gate from the marshal's point of view. The Lille Bardis boys then are hard on the left, and they are obviously going to go in wide, ride around the outside and see where they come out. Will it be lower than 15th? Who knows? They have no choice but to choose that option. Davy Sanders there, 109. What a whole shot he got yesterday. Justin Kerbin, number 7. He and Dion Reitman alongside their Joe Brown. What am I talking about? Joe Millard in the sidecar. Joe Brown and the brothers are not here. They're a band from way back when, so they won't be playing any music. It's Joe Millard and Brett Wilkinson in the 199. They're Adrian Petter, number 20. 936, they're Gwendol Carcref. The Bretons have taken a short trip across the water, I suspect, to the West Country from Brittany on the overnight boat, Plymouth Roscoff or Roscoff Plymouth in their case. They're Brett Wilkinson, 199. A host of British fans here looking to urge him on. 75, Tim and Sem Leffering. Marvin van Lukenen, Nicolas Mousset, number 1. And there, the French champions, 94, just sliding out of the side of your screen. We have them now. Kilian and Yvon Prunier. And number 3, carrying the red plate. They're the team to beat, I think, this weekend. Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. Having said that, twice we've seen them hit the kill switch inadvertently, and it all goes pear-shaped just for a few seconds, but they do recover. 2 rows then, 30 outfits go. Looking at the front row, on the right-hand side, Hermans all white, Prunier, then it's Van Lukenen, then it's Leffry, then it's Wilkinson, then it's Kerbin. Kerbin alongside the number 7 and alongside 199 of Wilkinson. Gert Gordiev, 151, has opted to go behind Koen Hermans, the Estonian, with Rodolphe Le Breton doing the business for him in the sidecar. The young French super passenger who was a super sub a couple of seasons ago, riding with just about anyone and everybody. We're getting into the exciting first lap, and you'll have to bear with me unless the positions are obvious, because to spot people on this hectic opening lap is something to behold. 15 seconds then. Dave Edwards moves out of the way. The 5-second board. We're going to be watching the whole shot claimers from the drone, I suspect. Now watch it. 5 seconds, they move away. They're all in gear. Watch Hermans on the right. Watch Prunier. The gate goes down. Watch Leo Bartis. It's Prunier leapt over the gate, but it's Koen Hermans. Koen Hermans getting the drop as they race in. Was that Benny Weiss? Looking good. Koen Hermans. Prunier's are in third. It's Davy Sanders again. Davy Sanders in second. Then it's Killian Evan Prunier. Brett Wilkinson in fourth. Benny Weiss in sixth behind Van Lukener. Van Lukener and Mousset in fifth. But what a hole shot for Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. They made the most of it. Round they go then. Brett Wilkinson in fifth place here. What a start for Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. Davy Sanders, can he get that thing off the line or what? He certainly can. Davy Sanders. Jens Vincent holding down the third wheel for him. Absolutely amazing stuff from Davy Sanders. Well, Wilkinson, Millard on the back of Prunier. Wilkinson, Millard alongside Prunier and past Prunier. Wilkinson, Millard then charging from the word go. Prunier fights back. There's a battle already for third place. Davy Sanders, Prunier. Wilkinson was momentarily past. Van Luken and Mousset. Then it's Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider. And it looked like that might be Stefan Wires. Stefan Wires behind Benny Weiss. But let's concentrate on the guys at the sharp end. What a start by Koen Hermans. 30 minutes plus 2 laps, and what a spectacle that is. The climbs and the fearsome drops at this Foxhill track. A sight to behold. Look at the lead Hermans has got already. And Wilkinson's in there mixing it. Wilkinson is really going for it here. He's past the Prunier boys and he's vying for second place. From where I can see, it's very, very far. I need binoculars here, but I'm not on the drone. I should be on the drone. Wilkinson up to second. Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard into second place. Sensational for the British fans here. There, Koen Hermans, race leader. Here come the British crew. Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard, Davy Sanders ahead of Killian Evan Prunier. Well, timing screen needs to catch up. She's still got Prunier in second. They're fighting back again. But Brett Wilkinson, Prunier is through on Davy Sanders. And Marvin van Lukener now ahead of Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider. Mike Hodges got a cracking start as well. Mike Hodges and Stefan Wires. So there's another left-hand outfit in there. There's Mike Hodges in the middle of your screen now, ahead of Stefan Wires. Mike Hodges is hunting down Benny Weiss and Patrick Schneider. Another cracking start for the number 13 British crew. Brett Wilkinson, a little bit of a momentary halt there as he came round that left-hander. The drone pictures here, absolutely amazing. You can see what they're up to every inch of the way. Look at him go, the Belgian. Davy Sanders, incredible, incredible performance from him ahead of his fellow countrymen and the reigning champion, defending champion, Marvin van Lukener, who's going backwards slightly here. Not got the speed, they didn't get the rhythm yesterday. They led a qualifying race and then at half distance it all went a little bit pear-shaped. And in the interview, Nicolas Mousset openly admitted to the fact that they had lost their rhythm. Now they've got their rhythm, they're inside Davy Sanders. Benny Weiss nearly into the back end of Davy Sanders. Benny Weiss having a great ride, a race winner in Cramelin, and he's got something to show for his efforts. A maximum, his first ever Grand Prix race win. Oh, wow. And now it's amazing stuff. Who's that flicking around on the inside of Benny Weiss? It looked like Mike Hodges. It was Mike Hodges, number 13. There's Michael Hodges there. He is, look, now on the back. So Hodges and Ryan Henderson charging through. Benny Weiss taking the wide line round, and it'll be a fast drive out for the Austrian. But Mike Hodges, oh no, keep it together, Michael. Keep it together, the cycle wheels in the air. Did they get away with that? I don't know. It's anybody's guess. Alongside me, Bradley Hicks is spectating, having just called the opening quad race, and I think he's enthusing to this level of entertainment. But out in front now, the gap already nearly 5 seconds Koen Hermans has over Brett Wilkinson, and you can see it in your screen. That big gap. And the yellow shirts coming are Kilian Evon Prunier on the back of Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard. But it's left-hand chair versus right-hand chair. They're the British crew. Calm down, Barry. You've got 25 minutes to go before you get the 2-lap board, and Prunier having a good look here. What he needs is an open track. He's going to try everything to get past Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard, but that ain't going to be easy, I can tell you, because the left-hand chair has lines all of its own, and Prunier has got to find an alternative. Second in the championship, Prunier on 49 points, having added his qualifying. The race leaders on 57, but Wilkinson has already benefited at the expense of Tim Prumer, because Tim Prumer is not racing. Wilkinson will certainly elevate himself into 5th place at the very least, and then close on Benny Weiss possibly, who's on 40 points. So Wilkinson has got every chance of doing himself the power of good. Just look at the airtime from Kilian and Evon Prunier, and they jumped past Brett Wilkinson in the air. How about that? Leaping into 2nd place in the race. What a move for them. Wilkinson and Millard then on the charge here, but they've just been deposed, demoted, call it what you like, but the Prunier boys now have clear track. Fastest crew on the track, 2:30.787, and let's see what sort of lap the Kilian and Evon Prunier outfit can put in when they've got a clear track ahead of them. Still Davy Sanders in 5th place, Marvin van Lukener ahead of him. There's Benny Weiss, the Austrian filling in the British, and who's following him? Belgian sandwich, I think. No, it's not, it's Dutch. Stefan Wires behind Benny Weiss. Mike Hodges ahead of the 91. There's Stefan Wires, Han van Haal. Lil Bardis behind Stefan Wires. So the Lil Bardis boys are up to 9th from 15th place on the grid. So the Lil Bardis boys are coming, and they've got 20 plus minutes plus 2 laps to do it in. This is nothing short of sensational sidecar motocross on a track that everybody absolutely loves. It's hard packed underneath. Once they've scuffed the top surface grime off, a bit of mud from the overnight rain, but still now you can see the dust kicking up. Prunier, Wilkinson, and behind Wilkinson it is Marvin van Lukener. Marvin van Lukener is coming, Brett. There, Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider. Desperately trying to get past Mike Hodges and Ryan Henderson. Ryan Henderson, son of Paul Henderson, who rode back in my day as passenger, among others, to Andy House. I once remember we did the Artan 3-hour race as a relay team. The big Yamaha of Andy House's broke, and we ended up doing the entire 3 hours on my brand new out-of-the-box Kawasaki. It was well and truly run in after 3 hours, I can tell you. Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider. I so love the Austrians being in this competition. Some good crews out of Austria in bygone days, and Benny Weiss some years ago, an absolutely amazing talent. He's still got that talent. He had a season where he incurred several big injuries, and that sort of knocked his confidence, but he's through. He's through on Michael Hodges. Benny Weiss has gone up a notch, and now he's got clear track, and between him and Davy Sanders is something like 9 seconds. So Benny Weiss has got every incentive. Tim and Sam Leffrey in the red with the blue helmets, the number 75, and I think they are behind the Lil Bardis boys, and they are. Ahead of them, the 101, Daniel and Bruno Lil Bardis. There they are, the Latvians. An immense amount of support here for them. And one or two of the the keyboard warriors, the internet trolls, have been saying that because they incurred a penalty, there's a conspiracy theory. All I can say to that is nonsense. This is a sport run by the FIM at the very highest level and with the officials of the utmost integrity. The noise test is random. At the end of each race, they will select any 3 outfits, and if you are overly noisy, you incur the penalty, and they did exactly that. Van Lukener then closing on the back of Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard. Van Lukener and Nicolas Mousset have everything to fight for because they are at the moment 10 points adrift of the red plate holder Koen Hermans, who with Ben van den Bogart is now enjoying a significant lead to the tune of nearly 10 seconds over Kilian and Yvon Prunier, who are there in your picture now ahead of Brett Wilkinson. So the Prunier boys are fast, but they are not as fast as the 28.872 that has just gone in by Koen Hermans. They are 2 seconds down on lap speed from the race leader. Brett Wilkinson, similarly, he's a second a lap slower yet again. Here comes Van Lukener and Mousset. Are they going to find their race rhythm? The defending and reigning champion, 3 titles to his name. Nicolas Mousset, 3 titles to his name. One of them previously with the man he's riding with now, Marvin Van Lukener, who has indicated that this could be his final season. Well, we've heard that before, have we not? It's the hardest thing in the world to retire from a sport such as this, where you get immense satisfaction from riding as a 2-man team. You share the ups, the downs on the track and the emotional ones as well. Take a breath. Take a pause, assess the situation. What have we got? Prunier's now going away slightly from Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard. Out in front, well, they're not enjoying any publicity because they're so far ahead. They're the Lille Bardis boys now. The Lille Bardis boys are on the back of Mike Hodges. In fact, they've gone past Mike Hodges, I do believe, unless Mike Hodges has fought back. It looked to me as though Michael Hodges and Ryan Henderson had managed to get back in front of the Lille Bardis twins, who were indicated at 7th place last time. Here we have it. 4th place for Van Lukener, 3rd place for Wilkinson, and there the runners-up in the race at the moment, Kilian Yvon Prunier, have almost stopped it. Oh, it was a blip in the picture. It was a glitch in the technology. They did stop, but so did everyone else, and so did the picture. We're working here with the most sophisticated of technology, using Starlink internet, cameras with iPads on, cameramen out there of the highest caliber, and I think you have to agree that the footage, the shots here, and the live shots for the first time this weekend from the drone are something to behold, giving you yet another perspective on this live show, which you get courtesy of FIM Moto TV, the logo down there in the bottom right hand corner of our screen, exclusively live on fim-moto.tv.com. This is Barry Nuckley. I'm only 2 hours from home, so at the end of proceedings here, I'll be jumping in my car. I'll be spending the first Sunday night after a Grand Prix in my own bed for many, many seasons. But we are now watching the British crew acquit themselves very, very well indeed. And similarly, Mike Hodges and Ryan Henderson still running neck and neck with Daniel and Bruno Lille Bardis. The field fairly strung out now, as you can see from the long shot. And Marvin Van Lukener actually was very complimentary about the length of the track. It is so good, he said, to have a track that has a 2.5 minute lap. They're the Lille Bardis boys. And still, Michael Hodges and Ryan Henderson are in front of Daniel and Bruno Lille Bardis. My timing screen had the Lille Bardis boys having got the better of them, which they must have done. But now Tim and Sam Leferink are coming up for a nibble at the Latvians. Tim and Sam Leferink, it is not all going the way of the 101 Lille Bardis brothers. They are getting a little bit flustered in their rhythm, I think, and they have another pair of siblings behind them, Tim and Sam Leferink, who have grown in stature. Mind you, physically they're tall boys anyway. But look at Mike Hodges and Ryan Henderson with half race distance gone before we get the 2 lap board. Doing an admirable job here. What a job they've done. 7th place, holding up the young men who, 18 years of age, but last season carried the red plate for 2/3 of the championship season. And now the Lille Bardis boys are having a really good look at Mike Hodges and Ryan Henderson, and having just pulled out a bit again from Tim and Sam Leferink, who were going with them. Mike Hodges 4-stroke. The Lille Bardis boys using mega power. Davy Sanders using mega power, a big 2-stroke. The Killian and Evan Prunier outfit is powered by a Zabel. The outfit of Van Lukenen is powered by a Zabel. And the race leaders are also on mega 2-stroke, Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. So the mega engines proving to be very successful here on these long climbs. Well, I just have to say, I'm so impressed with Mike Hodges and Ryan Henderson. Yes, I'm British, and yes, I'm biased, but even with an impartial hat, you would have to say what a great job they've done. Not usually running at the front, but they are renowned for getting out of the gate quickly. They showed us that in a couple of outings last season, and it is their intention to contest the entire season. But Lille Bardis has now got by on that left-hander, and they've gone. Lille Bardis have gone. Lille Bardis is the yellow flag. They went by, the yellow flag being waved. They are in the ropes. Daniel and Bruno Lille Bardis are in trouble. Brendan Carcraft coming through. Marshall waving here. Well, Daniel and Bruno Lille Bardis have exited stage right, and that has let Mike Hodges back into the clutches, but also retaining 7th place, but into the clutches of the Leferink brothers. So having got rid of one pair of siblings, he's got another pair of brothers, this time a Dutch pair, right on his back wheel. Well, it's dramatic stuff. We haven't seen a shot of the Lille Bardis boys since their misfortune, but I can't see them. Well, they haven't disappeared off the timing screen yet, because presumably somewhere they are still going. Van Lukenen and Nicolas Mousset, they're disappearing round the corner. Still Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard in a very strong 3rd place here, but with a 15-second lead. We are seeing the Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart outfit disappear into the distance. Still Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard keeping the Prunier brothers in touch. Still Van Lukenen and Mousset there in 4th, Davy Sanders in 5th, Benny Weiss in 6th, and I wonder how close Benny Weiss is now to Davy Sanders. Well, I can tell you, he's only 2.5 seconds behind him. So 109 Davy Sanders is coming under a threat now from the Austrian Zabel. Runners up at the moment. 2nd place for Kilian Evan Prunier. We said at the outset this track will suit the Prunier boys, and we also said at the outset that Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart were the crew to watch. That has proved to be the case. There's another 30-minute plus 2 lapper, and whilst we still have 10 minutes plus 2 laps of racing remaining, there will be time now for one or two of these crews with a big cushion at the front to just back off the pace a bit and save a little bit of energy Don't bust the gut. Save a little bit of energy. There's Davy Sanders coming through the picture. Where's Benny Weiss? That was Benny Weiss, and you can see the gap is closing. It was 2.5 seconds over the line last time. Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider in the distinctive orange and black. They've become my favourite crew because they don't change their shirts every race. They're on a tight budget. Kilian Evon Prunier, ever faithful to the lemon yellow. Koen Hermans, easily spottable. Red plate then, you are looking at a class act here. 4 times a world champion, Ben van den Bogart. Koen Hermans yet to win a world championship, but is 2025 going to be the season of the young Dutchman. There, Wilkinson and Millard. The air horns, the flags, they're all going here. The British crew very much getting the support and the love of the crowd here at Foxhills, and why wouldn't they? Live in the next county, Hampshire boys. Well, Joe is actually Wiltshire near as, well, it's almost in Somerset where he lives. He's west and Brett's east of here. So Swindon sitting very much in the middle of where those two live. Kilian Evon Prunier from France, of course, very much a family concern. Have a new wonderful golden retriever puppy in the awning. Dogs are allowed at motocross events across Europe and indeed in Britain. Road racing, no. Circuit events, no. But motocross, you can bring your dog, provided it's on a lead. And I think that goes without saying. So we're now watching the reigning French champions and the championship leaders at the moment, French championship leaders. But now we can still see Michael Hodges and Tim and Sem Lefrink on the far right of your screen. Hodges is holding off the challenge from the Dutchman. The big 4-stroke thundering up that hill. As the rest of the crews make their way round. Looks like Stuart Brown, I believe, in the all yellow. Is it the 888 crew? Let's try and give you an indication of where they are. Jake Brown is in 28th place, so he's way down the order. That is Stuart Brown, I'm sure. Stuart Brown, the 888 crew, is in 9th place behind Tim Lefrink. So Stuart Brown is in a very, very respectable place. The British veteran, over 50 years of age now and still riding with all the verve and tenacity that he's displayed over his numerous, I think it's something like 14 British championship titles. So I stand to be corrected, but numerous British titles. Not as a regular supporter. Bradley Hicks is about to give me some information here. It's 18. Thank you, brothers. 18 British titles. I must have missed the last 4. I was probably sleeping when they were on. But 18 British titles for Stuart Brown. There, Mike Hodges there, still holding off and defending that place from Tim and Sem Lefrink. Well under 10 minutes of racing left remaining, 6.5 in actual fact. Still the fastest lap by Koen Hermans. He's called it just a little bit the last time, 2:31, and that compares with the 2:32. So Kilian Prunier is going a little bit faster now than the race leader, but we still have 6 minutes and 2 laps remaining. But given the speed that Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart showed in the early stages of the race, I think they are just taking their time and pacing themselves very, very nicely indeed. Behind Stuart Brown, we have the Weinman brothers, so we have a battle of 2 left-handed sidecars there. Stuart Brown in 9th and Joshua and Noah Weinman in 10th place. All the way down the field then, good scraps, and that's what we like to hear, and that's what we like to see. But hopefully you're still hearing me. This is Barry Nutley giving it his all, and why wouldn't you when you're at a track that's giving such a fantastic display? And you can see the number of circuit options there have been over the years here on this Foxhill's terrain. But the track that the track owners and the organising Waterlooville Club, under the auspices of Bradley Skeets, the track that they've laid out has been absolutely incredible. Davy Sanders and Jens Vincent are now closing back in on Marvin van Lukener. So, you couldn't write the script, could you? Davy Sanders now back in. Van Lukener has cooled the pace a little bit. He's running 2:31's his best lap, but he's now back in the 2:37s. So he has definitely cooled it, and that has given Davy Sanders all the incentive to have another nibble at the defending champion, and he's doing exactly that. And that's the battle you're watching now. Davy Sanders, a brilliant, brilliant job he is doing. He and Jens Vincent, they've got every incentive. They've got the mega two-stroke. Van Lukener is faithful to Zabel power. So both on two strokes, and where will the mega? Well, I suspect the mega's got maybe a little bit more grunt up the long hill, and it's a question of bravery on the downhill leaps, and Van Lukener has got plenty of bravery. Over the winter he had the top two joints of his little finger removed, so he's got a shortened little finger. It was absolutely painful. It was damaged beyond repair, so rather than suffer the pain, he had the top two joints removed from the finger of his left hand. It's a clutch hand, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem for him, but he's also suffered with thumb problems as well over the last couple of seasons. But now he's got second wind, he's got the wake-up call from his pit crew, and Davy Sanders is no longer the threat he was a lap ago. 3 minutes of racing before we see the two-lap board. And what a race we've had. At the front then, the gap now 17 seconds. And that's the lead Hermans has over Kilian Prunier. Then further back, Brett Wilkinson. He's another 9 seconds behind the Prunier boys. So a fairly safe third. Brett Wilkinson, because Marvin van Lukener has his own problems in the shape of Davy Sanders. And there you can see Kilian Evon Prunier up round the left-hander at the top, and Brett Wilkinson making his way. They're the Prunier boys. I think there's a tail ender, yes there is. That's Jakob Jensen, the Dane. No wonder I'm getting confused here. I'm looking at the quad list. So, super stuff. Kilian Evon Prunier. A copybook ride for them, a copybook ride for Hermans and Ben van der Bogart. Just over a minute now before we see the two-lap board. The air horns are going. 2:32.4, so Hermans has knocked the speed off. What a display. Just look at the paddock. The immaculate organisation. Look at the natural grandstand with the crowd on that terracing, on their stools, their chairs, they've got their picnics. This is absolutely superb racing. Immediately after this I will get into writing my report, but of course we have another quad race coming up, and then the grand finale of the day will be race number 2 for these Grand Prix sidecars, and what a spectacle we are looking forward to in that. Benny Weiss still holding 6th place behind Davy Sanders, not closing the Belgian down. There is the Belgian, still very much with Van Lukener in his sights. Counting down the seconds now. Next time round we will get the 2-lap board. This is some ride by Davy Sanders and Jens Vincent. Absolute perfection. And all down to his quick starting technique. Still I can see left rinks behind Michael Hodges. Michael Hodges still in 7th place. Davy Sanders behind Van Lukener. And this will drop Marvin Van Lukener back still further in the points. He's not found the race-winning speed here yet at Foxhill. Certainly got the style, but he's bringing it home. They are bringing it home to a good, solid 4th place. Unless Davy Sanders can find something in the remaining 2 laps, and that board has gone out. He's on them again. He is on them again. There, the red plate then among the tail enders. Patrick Hengster, Selina Young, the 914 crew being relegated here by a class act, an absolutely class act. Koen Hermans has certainly found his mojo. Koen Gronman, 114. Koen Gronman, the 114 outfit with Niels Visselink in the sidecar. And Hermans then in amongst them thick and fast here. Ben van den Bogart will be absolutely delighted with this. And when we come to the post-race interviews, I'd like to hear from Koen as much as anyone, but quite often it's Ben van den Bogart who elects to talk to our pit lane reporter. In this case, it will be Bradley Hicks, who will nip off and get a chat from these guys. But this has been a gate to flag display. I hope I'm not tempting fate here, because they still have another lap to go on the completion of this one. The last thing I want to do is put the commentator's curse on it. You can see how this Foxhill's track has worn out now into hard pack going. Absolutely superb display from this pairing. Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard equally good, but 33 seconds they trail this pairing by. 1 lap then, final lap for Koen Hermans. It'll be 2.5 minutes before we see him go over that jump again, and then our start line and finish line official, dressed in the one-piece suit of the checkered flag, unmistakable, will wave his checkered flags, because I believe he has 2, to Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart, who have done an absolutely great job here. There's no superlative I can think of better than fantastic. It has been well and truly driven home to the rest of the pack what they are capable of when it all falls into place. 2 seasons of unreliability and breakdowns and misfortune and silly mistakes that should not have happened. Now they seem to have really got it all together in the pit garage. The mechanics are strong, the bike is holding firmly, the mega engine is delivering everything they can expect of it, and with its new hydraulic clutch it gets him out of the gate, and that's what he asked for, that's what he got. On the final lap then, the Kinge brothers Number 24, George and Jim Kinge, being comprehensively overtaken by the best team on the field without a shadow of a doubt. Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. Let's enjoy their victory lap, because that is what this is. The number 3, the red plate, looks, again, I hope I'm not tempting fate, but looks set to stay with them. They've got one more race to go, but they will claim maximum points again. 3 race wins in a row it'll be for Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. And what has happened to the Lille Bardis boys' hopes and aspirations? They have disappeared from the screen. And here it is then, checkered flags for Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart, who bring it home in an absolutely emphatic victory. Kilian Evon Prunier second, Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard will bring it home. Here they come then, the Prunier boys, 94 on the bike, second in the race with an 18-second deficit. And now let's hear it for the British crew. Third place for Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard. Over they come. Terrific, terrific stuff. And that will really bump their points up the table. They could well leapfrog 2 places. Marvin van Lukenen holds on to 4th place narrowly from Davy Sanders and Jens Vincent. So Van Lukenen and Mousset 4th. Davy Sanders, Jens Vincent 5th. 6th place for Benny Weiss and Patrick Schneider as Michael Hodges stayed clear of Tim and Sam Leffering. Yes, he has. 7th place for Mike Hodges and Ryan Henderson. 8th place for Tim and Sam Leffering. And is it 9th for Stuart Brown? Stuart Brown and Scott Graham. But there you have it, Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart. What a display. Nicola Netadarova, our event and race manager, in actual fact, handing out the water bottles there. And we will shortly be hearing, I'm certain, from one of those crews. But will it be Koen Hermans or will it be Ben van den Bogart? Let's let them get their helmets off as the spectators make their way back to their refreshments, to their motorhomes maybe, or just to go and congratulate the winners in the paddock. Because the beauty of motocross is that it's a no-holds-barred, free area sport. You can go and mix it with the great and good when they calm down. And now, down with Bradley Hicks, we have none other than Koen Hermans himself. Let's hear from Koen.
We're here with race 1 winner, as he gets the congratulations there, Koen Hermans. Koen, that must be one of the best rides of your career so far. What do you think?
Yeah, it was a really good race. Yesterday we had a really good start, but we found the problem what it was, and yeah, we changed it, and now the start was really good. We took the whole shot, and we lead it all the race long, and we saw the gap was bigger and bigger, so we felt really comfy on the bike, so that was really nice to race this heat.
Normally at this point I say, what changes can you make for race 2? But I think watching that race, there are no changes.
No, we don't make any changes. The feeling was good, so I hope we can make the same race in the second motor also.
And the track is fast and long. Is it something you enjoy?
Well, in the beginning I was thinking it's not so nice when the track is really long, but yeah, then you make not so many laps, so it feels a little bit shorter because the race I was like, oh, 2 more laps, so yeah, that's really good. So let's see what the second heat brings.
Thank you very much. All the best for later.
Thank you.
Well, brilliant. You know, Koen is a guy who, when he's had a great day, he'll come and talk to us. When he's had a shocking day, he sends Ben. So Ben does all the dirty stuff and Koen takes the glory. Well, why not? What a fantastic performance from Koen Hermans. And now we're going to hear from the Prunier boys. I think it'll be Killian because he was on the handlebars. Let's hear it then from Team Prunier.
Killian Prunier, second in that first race of the day. You had a good fight with Brett Wilkinson in the first stages there, didn't you?
Yeah, good start. Top 3 start, so it's always a good start. And as you said, good fight with Brett Wilkinson. We gave a little bit of energy, but it's always good to have a good fight with the mates. So always good. And the rest of the race was perfect. We tried to save a little bit of energy when we saw that Marvin took the distance. So happy with the first race. Very good.
It's good for the championship as well. I know it's early stages in the championship, but consistency is key, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Consistency is the key. We're only at the beginning of the championship, but this is our goal in the team. We always want to be hit there on the top points at the maximum front. So we continue like this, and we will see at the end of the season. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good luck for later.
Thanks a lot.
They're such delightful people. You know, they're a lovely family. The whole Sidecarcross paddock is like that. They're friendly. I feel like I know them all personally, and in many ways I do. But it's an absolutely lovely way to have them interviewed and see just how much passion they put into it, love for the sport, and when they get a good result like that, you know, it's no more than they deserve. That's for sure. And now it's going to be Joe Millard. You know, he's on local ground. The British fans were fantastic. So let's hear then from the passenger of Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard.
Third place in that race, Joe Millard. You had a good fight with Killian and Evan Prunier, but still third place in your home round for the first race.
Yeah, it was amazing. Really good start. Yeah, we got up to second, which was amazing, and then we were battling with the French brothers, and I really hoped we could beat them, but they're just too strong for us around here at the minute. So we're hoping in race 2 we can stay close to them and maybe beat them at the end. I don't know.
When you moved up to second place there and you heard the crowd, what did that do for you? How does it mean to have that support?
It's incredible, honestly. You can just hear them everywhere, and to know they're all supporting you, like everyone, it was incredible. It gives you an extra buzz to keep pushing. And yeah, hopefully we can sort of do the same in the second race.
Well, we're all behind you. Good luck for the second race later.
Thank you.
You know, he astonishes me. He doesn't look as though he's done an inch of work, does he? I mean, he's just been 30 minutes plus 2 laps on a very, very tough sidecar motocross track, and he looks as though he's just stepped off his bike having come from the shop. But there it is confirmed. 25 points. Koen Hermans, Ben van den Berg maximum. Prunier on 22. They will really, really benefit from that. Wilkinson, fantastic third from Van Lukenen, who was under pressure from Sanders towards the close again. Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider, they did themselves a power of good with that ride to 6. Mike Hodges, Ryan Henderson, fair play, lads, well done. Tim and Sam Lefrink ahead of Stuart Brown and Joshua Wyman. So 3 British crews in the top 10. What more can I say? Justin Kerben ahead of Gwendal Karlkref, Gordiev, Tom van der Lagerman, Adrian Petter. The Chanteloup brothers, Kinges were there 17th. They all get points down to 20th, so that's what counts. And then further down the order, some of the other British crews were here, not just making up the numbers, giving it their shot, and it's not easy, I can tell you. Jake Brown will be disappointed with 28th, I can tell you that much. Well, it's absolutely fantastic. You can see the crowd, you can see the track laid out before you. There's a lot more racing to come. Stay with us on the live stream, FIM Moto TV. But for now, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back again very shortly with more action from Foxhill. So don't go away from me, Barry Nutley. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.
Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin van Lukenen certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.